All right. All right. I'm on the chat group right now, and I think a lot of you all, I think you all are spoiled. You're spoiled. Let me explain something to you all, okay? Some of this stuff you have got to start thinking and using your, you got to start thinking and applying some of the things that you've learned already, okay? A lot of y'all are asking me, how do we find carriers? And I'm really, I don't want to say I'm upset. I'm disappointed that you all are still asking that question. Even without 1, 2, 3 or finding them on load boards, you do know that you can find carriers on Google. Okay, so let me go through this for you all right now. Okay, this is Google. Let's go to Google. Good old Google.com, which is, come on, really? It's a search engine. Anything you want to find, you can find it on Google. That's what it's for. It's a search engine. Okay, you can find it on Google, you can find it on Bing, you can find it on any search engine. I mean, this is no real big secret. So, come on, I mean, let's be serious. If you want to look for freight carriers, let's say freight carriers in Alabama. Hit enter, and look what happens. You all see all these doggone carriers down here where it says ABC, right? And then you click where it says more places. Look what happens. All these are carriers. All these are carriers. Even give you the location of where where the companies are. All these are carriers. Big carriers, small carriers. I mean, I'm talking about even small carriers like Buddy Moore Trucking, something like that. You click on one of these bad boys, and it pulls up and tells you who this carrier is. Okay? It gives you all the information on the phone number. You can call Buddy Moore Trucking up. You can go right to the website. If you want to go to the website, you can do, come on, really? Is anybody still confused about how to find carriers? All right? And you've got a whole slew of them just in Alabama. You click next, and it goes through the next line of carriers. Look at all this. All these are carriers. So if you're at this point and you're telling me you don't know how to find carriers, I mean, come on. I'm going to be honest with you. Shame on you. Okay? Because Google is a search engine. Ain't nothing, I mean, just get on here and find carriers. You got to start thinking outside the box. You got to start applying some of this stuff that you're learning. Start using it and applying it to some of the stuff that you learn. And we've actually done this before. We've talked about this before. We've done this before. I can go back and pull up the training video and take you right to it and show you exactly where we have done this before. It's even in the chat group where I've trailed it out to you all. If you scroll back up in the chat group, you'll see where we put this in the chat group before for you all. And I'm not talking about a month ago. I'm talking about just last week. I actually put this in the chat group just a month ago, just last week, where I typed out and just spelled it out for everyone how to find carriers in Google. Okay? And all you got to do is just change the state. Freight carriers in Alabama, freight carriers in Georgia, freight carriers in California, freight carriers in Tennessee, freight carriers in North Carolina, South Carolina, North Dakota, Texas. Come on. Just go through the states and you can find carriers. That's what Google is. It's a search engine. Been around since the beginning of the internet. All right? So I don't want to hear anybody talking about where can I find carriers. I can't find carriers. I can't find carriers. Oh, I don't have 1, 2, 3 load board. Where do I find carriers? Not only that, if you go to your back office area, right? Remember that little thing we call a SIT code site that lists everything in the back office, that lists all the shippers? Well, you can do the same thing with carriers. Let's go to the back office site. We're in the back office site, right? Go to the SIT code site where it says search for shippers or search for brokers. Whatever. All you got to do is just put in here what you're looking for. You can put independent, freight carrier. Did that spell it right? Well, I didn't quite spell it right. Independent freight carriers. Okay, I gotta find the right name for it because that's not the right one. All right, let's see if we can find what the right name for it. Let's say just say freight carriers. Okay, let's try trucking companies. Just a matter of trial and error. Truck companies. Trucking companies, not truck. Let's say trucking. Let's try this one. Oh, we're in products and services, no wonder. Let's go. Well, let's try this. I think I'm still doing it here. Let's say not freight carriers, truck companies. What's another term we use for trucks? Nothing for truck companies. There's got to be a term in here for it. We're going to keep on until we find it. Truckers. Freight transport. All right, there we go. Freight transport. Let's try that. All right. Freight transportation arrangements, transportation services, deep sea transportation services, water, air freight, coastal, domestic freight. Let's click on some of this and see what we get. Quincy's Container Lines, Haul It Right Transport. There's a bunch of carriers right here. So, yeah, there's still got to be a way you can search for it because this is what this site is. This site finds anything, but you just got to find the right heading for it. I'm not sure if they're going to call them trucking companies or freight transport companies or cargo freight companies. Let's try this. Let's try dry van. Carriers. Nope, it's not going to be on dry van carrier. Let's try reefer carriers. Truck drivers. Okay, truck driver services, 512. Let's try that one. Okay, here we go. Okay, truck drivers. There's about 500 and some other truck driving companies in here, and these are all carriers. But the best way to find carriers is through what? It's through Google. You find every trucking company listed in the United States right through Google. Okay? But let's go over that again. We'll go over this again for you. Google.com. We're going to say freight carriers in California. Come down here, see the map, see the ABC, more places, and look what happens. Every freight carrier in California. And you got a whole slew of them. You just keep going line by line by line by line. Freight carriers, flatbed, truck services. I mean, come on, man. I mean, it don't get no easier than that. All right? Also, and for those of you right now who are telling me you can't log into this stuff in the back office, okay, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something wrong. All right? We're going to click on some of the stuff y'all see y'all can't log into. We know Truckers Pass is down, so we're not going to worry about that one. Let's go to some of the stuff that someone said. I know someone said something about Load Solutions. Where's Load Solutions at? Here it is, Load Solutions. All right, there's Load Solutions right there. All right, I already have a password in here. If you click on the password and you put it in, you click log in. Look what happens. You can tell me you can't pull this up. I'm pulling it up. Pick up date for tomorrow. Let's just do search everything. Look at all them devilish loads that's coming up in Load Solutions for tomorrow. We're looking at 1,535 loads that's going to be picked up on tomorrow in Load Solutions. And that's one of the ones that people are chiming in on the chat group saying that you can't log into. Come on, people, pay attention to what you're doing, because something you're not doing right. Okay? If I can get in, you can get in. If other people can get in, you can get in. So if the rest of us can get in and you can't get in, what does that mean? You're doing something wrong. The rest of us can't be doing something wrong and we're getting in, or there can't be something wrong with the site that the rest of us are getting in. If we're getting in, so can you. Double check what you're doing. Make sure, pay attention to what you're doing. Make sure the words that you're putting in are exactly the way they are that you're putting them in. Check the spacing in between the words. Make sure there's no spacing in between the words. Pay attention to what you're doing. All right. Let me get back to finishing up this stuff with what I'm trying to get some stuff done with Central Dispatch is what I'm trying to get ready so we have everything right so we'll be able to operate on there within the next 2 weeks. But anyway, I don't want to hear people saying you can't find trucks anymore. Don't give me that excuse. Don't give me that excuse. Okay? You all are better than this. All right?